Good morning. I'm so excited to be here talking to you guys this morning about yoga for first responders. We've talked a lot in the past few months about this coming to the police department, and this morning's just an opportunity for me to show you why it's really important that we're bringing this to you, how it's going to be used, and some of the benefits for it. Because a lot of times I've come up and I've talked to some of the department and I've said, hey, are you interested in coming when we start the Yoga for First Responders class? And I can see their eyes glaze over a little bit because when we say the word yoga, what happens? This is what we picture, right? We picture difficult poses, needing to be super flexible, needing to wear certain clothing. And I think one of the most important things I can do today is emphasize that this is not what Yoga for First Responders looks like. Yoga for First Responders may result in you becoming more flexible, but that is not the original intent for Yoga for First Responders. I've been doing yoga for 10 years and I can't even do some of these poses. So, if Yoga for First Responders is not about flexibility, what is it about? So when we think about Yoga for First Responders, we're talking about functional mobility, right? Making sure that the way that you move is appropriate for what you're doing. We also want to emphasize that Yoga for First Responders is about training for regulation, not relaxation. Here's the difference. So if we talk about relaxation, right? If I say to you guys, hey, what do you do to relax? Most of you will say, oh, I go have a drink, I go running, I read a book, I play with my animal, I spend time with my family. All of that is something that you have to do off the job, right? So your system is off, you're stress-free, you're zenning out, and that is a coping skill. Those are good. However, again, that's off the job. So are we saying that you cannot effectively deal with stress while you're on the job? So YFFR teaches regulation, right? It means your system is still on, but you're in control. We're working with your high stress. We are activating your nervous system, and neuroplastic healing means that this is permanent biological changes in your brain that are beneficial for you to enhance your performance. So the original intention of yoga is mastery over your mind and then optimal functioning of the psychophysiological symptom. Basically, that means your mind, your body, and your nervous system are all in control, working together. Because of that, it helps you to process stress and build mental and physical resilience. So a lot of people have focused just on the physical aspects of yoga. YFFR really focuses on the mental aspect as well. Why are these things important? Well, because we want you to be prepared. And at the end of the day, the goal of every first responder is to go home, right? So long-term survivability. So here are some specific benefits of true yoga training, right? Self-regulation, self-awareness, verbal expression, yes, physical strength and mobility. How about effective sleep and recovery? Do you guys know any first responder that sleeps well? The ability to perform well and under pressure, decreased impulsiveness, more accurate gut responses, controlled responses. How important do these sound for helping you do your job? And if I came in and we didn't have the word yoga and I said, here are the things that I'm gonna help you do, everybody'd be like, heck yeah, I'm on board, right? And then again, we say the word yoga and everybody goes back to that image. Because if you Google yoga, that's the slide that comes up. What happens in your job, how much would you say is mental, right? And then how much training did you get for the mental part of your job. So they did a little poll, and the votes were 90% of the job is mental, and very little, 10 and 30%, says that they received training for the mental and emotional side. Most people I've asked said their introduction to some sort of mental and emotional training started with their psychological interview, and that was the last time they were introduced to something like that. So YFFR was developed because this is missing in public safety. Again, most important things, we are processing stress out of the body, we are teaching you to build resilience, we are enhancing your performance, because what happens if we don't do this, right? Stress-related health issues, decline in performance. We know burnout is a real thing in first responders. Injuries. We talked about processing stress out of the body. If you do not process stress out of the body, it leads to injury because it stays in the body and you stay stiff and you're achy. And what happens when you push something that is stiff? A lot of times it breaks, right? Unfortunately, it also leads to post-traumatic stress, and ultimately we know that the suicide rate for first responders is higher than line of duty deaths. So yoga for first responders is a proactive training tool for mental and physical resilience. So what's the difference, again, between just running down and going to take a yoga class or the yoga classes that you guys have had offered at the BTF before? So here's the difference. We're focused on neurological fitness. Remember that really big word that we talked about, psychophysiological, right? Like body, mind, and nervous system. Yes, the benefits are increased performance, strength, things like that, but really this is about the neurological fitness, and it's a proven training system, right? Evidence-based, stress processing, building resilience. No woo-woo. What does that mean, right? So that means no Sanskrit, no music, no candles, nothing like that. Olivia's phrase is that she teaches yoga like a drill instructor. Most of the time, this may feel more like coaching than necessarily a yoga flow, because again, body mechanics is going to be super important for us. Culturally informed and job specific. Every single class built from the ground up for its audience. Every pose that we do, we can actually show you in your job how it applies. From conceptual to tactical and practical. We're going to talk about resilience, and then everything that we teach you on the mat becomes tactical, practical, and it's for you to take off the mat and implement in your life. It's proactive, and it certainly enhances performance. So how does it enhance performance? One of the ways is access to the flow state. You guys have heard people talk about, hey, I'm in the zone, right? That is a state of brain functioning that occurs during times of high risk, need for increased focus, right? Like it's not something that just happens. So we train for that. We use performance under pressure and using stress as a tool, because your jobs aren't, stress doesn't just go away. You are going to always have stress. And so we're going to teach you to deal with that stress and, of course, enhancing tactical performance. When we talk about that, I want you to, again, go back to thinking body mechanics, endurance, accuracy, decision-making, clear thinking under stress. Those things sound important for you guys? So this was a firefighter who said that they were able to take a 45-minute bottle and make it last an hour and 43 minutes. That is life-saving for them. Here's an officer in Arkansas Had a standoff Wednesday night through Thursday morning, used 3-part breath, modifying sun breath for tactical rest, and it worked amazing. So what is this gonna look like? I told you that it doesn't look like going down to your local studio and taking a class. So one of the first things that we teach is tactical breath work. This is absolutely the foundation of yoga for first responders. One of the ways that we are going to achieve all of this is through the mental discipline that we're going to teach you. Here is an example of alternate nostril breathing. When you alternate your nostrils, you actually are balancing the hemispheres of your brain. And when we do that, we are not just in our left brain, which is our ration and our reason, and not in right brain, which is our emotion and our creativity, but we're able to balance the two and make better decisions. So that is our tactical breath work, again, our foundation. And then we have our physical drills. Yes, they're still challenging. I've had people say, well, you know, I go to the BTF and I work out, like I'm strong, you know, how is this different? We're gonna work on the small stabilizing muscles that are really important that get missed when you do regular workouts. Doing the physical drills in YFFR is what completes your stress cycle and helps to get that stress hormone out of your body. And then everybody's favorite is neurological reset, and they see this picture and they say, oh gosh, we get to relax at the end. Yes, I mean, you're right, hopefully laying there like that is relaxing, but this is actually about effective recovery, making sure that everything that we did on the mat starts to integrate for you. Throughout all of these, we're gonna be doing the most effective way to master your mind, and that is through cognitive declarations, or what we call anchor phrases. So we'll be doing that through all of these. And then Lieutenant Colonel Grossman wrote on combat, and he said, yoga, Zen, and the martial arts may have some mystical connotations, but when you strip away the mysticism, all that is left is a simple process that allows you to gain conscious control over your unconscious nervous system and then put it to work for you. So I hope that answered some questions of why this is important, why this looks completely different than anything that you guys have done at the training center before. And before classes start, which I'm hoping is actually next week, you can actually scan the QR code. It'll give you some foundation training videos. And I'm very excited to also remind you that in our Mindbase app, under the physical fitness part, there are YFFR videos for free, because it's part of the Mindbase app. We will integrate into Mindbase a way for you guys to sign up for classes, and if not, under the peer support, if you'll just text me if you're interested in finding out more before classes have started, just let me know. So that's us, Yoga for First Responders. Thank you guys so much.